Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Griffith, and welcome to Globe and Citizen Science, Not Just for Schools. Again, my name is Michael Griffith. I work at a company called Berks Nature. Berks Nature is an environmental nonprofit in the city of Reading, Pennsylvania. At Berks Nature, we believe that nature is essential to your quality of life, and we do that by land management, protecting water, environmental education, urban greening, and many other ways. Now we'll move on to how Berks Nature uses Globe with its community science program and all of its adult volunteers. Berks Nature runs 4 different watershed associations: the Angelica Creek Watershed Association, the Maiden Creek Watershed Association, the Tulpehocken Creek Watershed Association, and the Angelica Creek Association. We also then have an ambassador program where we train volunteers who want to do more than just water, but that also does include water. So why did we choose Globe for our adult citizen scientists? Well, to begin with, we can train them in the hydrology and atmosphere protocols, which tie into what we do. Globe already has a database ready to collect the data, and then it's very easy to extract and disseminate that data. All of our community scientists, watershed associations, etc., will all be trained in the same procedure. So QA/QC means they'll all be doing it the same way. And then we'll also be able to expand to non-traditional partners. So what does our amazing team of adult volunteers look like? In Angelica Creek, we have 12 users. Hay Creek Watershed, 8 users. Maiden Creek Watershed, 10 users. Tulpehocken Creek Watershed, 18 users. And those combined so far this year have done 943 hours in volunteering. Then we have our ambassador program, which is people who aren't tied to a specific creek or watershed. We have 80 users, and they have done 1,127 hours so far in 2024. Now, these were not all necessarily Globe hours, but everything our volunteers do does tie back to Globe. So that is a lot of hours we were able to get out of people. And this is just active users. So there might have been users who were trained, left, moved to different organizations and stuff like that. So this is just the current users. Now, I am trained in all protocols: hydrosphere, atmosphere, pedosphere, biosphere, but the ones that we do with our community scientists are mostly hydrosphere and atmosphere because they're watershed associations. So we do water temperature, transparency, dissolved oxygen, electroconductivity, pH, nitrate, macroinvertebrates, and then for atmosphere, we do clouds and current temperature since they both have an effect on the water. Now we're going to take some time and go over some example projects on how we were able to use Globe to do community science to make a difference. To start with, we have our Maiden Creek and Hay Creek Watershed Associations. So what they're doing right now is they're collecting a baseline. So they're going around to different creeks and they're collecting the protocols that I explained previously, and they're getting a baseline. So what is this creek like normally? So they're going to do it during a storm. They're going to do it during dry flow. They're going to do it during a drought. They're just going to go out and collect samples from these creeks to get a baseline on what the creek is like under normal conditions. Now we have the projects from the Tulpehocken Creek Watershed Association. They have done quite a few projects, but I'm going to highlight one being the dam removal. So we had a dam that was removed. So the group was able to then go test before the dam was removed for about 2 years. The dam was removed, and then we were able to continue testing. So the slide you're looking at has the data that's been collected almost monthly since before the dam was removed. And now the dam was just removed, so now we're in the process of collecting the post data. So once that's done, we're going to be able to organize all the data and tell a story about the dam removal. The next slide, the Tulpehocken Creek Watershed Association did a study on something from the 90s. So they found a 1991 study by the USDA that was focused on their watershed. They found that study, they went and found all the locations, and then they've been doing testing at those same locations to determine, has it improved over the last 20, 30 years. So what you're looking at here is the data from 1990, 1991, and then their 2022 data showing whether there was improvements or not. And while it is a very colorful slide, what we have learned is there were improvements, and it's good to be able to tell that story. Let's move on to AQUA, or Angelica Creek Watershed Association. Some of the projects that they've been able to do is, one is they've done a temperature snapshot in the entire watershed. So here's a map that shows all the different locations in the Angelica Creek Watershed Association. And what they did is they went out on one day within an hour of each other. And they basically went out and took a temperature snapshot of all the different tributaries to Angelica Creek. Then they're going to take this data and they're going to use it to try to figure out, where do we need to plant trees? Where is the temperature rising? Where is there no shading? Where is it not safe for trout? So they're taking this snapshot and they're going to do it every year in July at the hottest month to see specifically how it's affecting the trout. So here's a picture of their raw data. Now here we have another project from them. So they collect the normal data that I've talked about, and one of the things they collect is called conductivity. And conductivity is a measurement of the ions in the water. So here what we did is we have Angelica Creek, which has a pretty normal conductivity around 400. And then one of the tributaries was coming in around 800 sometimes, 900. We even had 1,000 once. And we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So what we finally did is, after doing all this testing and testing in different locations, we were able to go back and we found out that there was a church that was told to use rock salt to kill weeds on the riverbank because it's all natural. And while, yeah, that's great, it is natural, that was causing huge conductivity spikes and stressing out the animals in the water. So by using Globe and doing these tests, we were able to then figure out a problem, find the problem, talk to the church, and have the problem solved. And they're no longer using it. They didn't know any better. So again, here we're using Globe for real-world applications. To wrap everything up, Globe is so much more than just a K-12 or in-service teacher program. Globe is a great program that has everything in place for adults and community scientists to be involved. Again, my name is Michael. I work at Berks Nature. Our website is berksnature.org. Please check it out. And if you have any questions, all of my contact information is on the screen. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions in a little while.